millions of dollars are spent to analyze data to figure out what's going on in the future. But I'm going to tell you today what the future looks like. Hello, everyone. This is Glenn Guyton, workplace engagement specialist, keynote speaker, and cultural futurist. Well, let's talk about the future. What's next? No one wants to be caught off guard when it comes to predicting the future. We don't want to be caught off guard in our personal lives, in our professional lives, in our political lives. I mean, millions of dollars are spent to analyze data to figure out what's going on in the future. But I'm going to tell you today what the future looks like. All right, so what does the future look like? Are you ready for it? Because I have gained some insight about the future, and it is indisputable. I promise you. For all you futurists out there, for all you analysts out there, this is what the future looks like. The future is small. What, Glenn, what are you talking about? The future is small. Yes, the future is small. I think beyond a shadow of a doubt, if we think about future trends, if we look at the history, in our past, the future is moving us to something smaller. Think about it this way. Think about your favorite fast food hamburger. It's smaller. I went to Burger King the other day. I probably don't need to be going to Burger King, but I went to Burger King and I got a Junior Whopper, a Whopper Junior. Do you know how big it was? The Whopper Junior was tiny, tiny. It was small. It was so little, like it fit in the palm of my hand. And I know it's not just my age, but this burger is much smaller than it was in the past. So I'm getting a smaller product and I'm paying a lot more. The future is small. Think about your favorite snack food. Chances are you're paying more and the portion size is either smaller or the ingredients are inferior. Shrinkflation is a real thing, isn't it? Think about it. We're paying more and we're getting less. The future is smaller. We're paying more or we're getting a lower quality of ingredients. So we are reducing the quality. The future is small. Other things I want you to think about. With inflation, you pay more and get less. That's a decrease in value. Those are the things I think that we have to pay attention to for the future. I was looking at my favorite airline. I fly Delta Airlines quite a bit. I love Delta. I'm a million miler. And I normally fly at least comfort if I don't get upgraded to first class. Now, why do I do that? Because I fly quite a bit. I'm getting older and I like to work on the plane. I really cannot work in coach because why? I have less space because they want to put more people. So the airline is expanding maybe the number of passengers that it can carry, but we're reducing flights. So the options are becoming less. We're reducing space. So comfort is being reduced on the airplanes, and we are lowering customer service and even the value of the miles that I get as a Diamond Medallion member. The value of my Diamond Medallion membership is becoming less. The comfort that I experience and flying is much less than it was 10, 15 years ago. So the future is getting smaller. And so there are many people in the airline industry that are trying to predict trends, but we are cutting back on the largeness of the customer experience and reducing it. So the future is small. So many things that we think about, that we talk about, have become limited. Think about politics. We're becoming more polarized. So there's less diversity of thought. And you would think that the internet, in all of its greatness, in all of its largeness, would actually expand our horizons. But I think it's making us smaller. It's shrinking our points of view. It's condensing our arguments. If you look at the creators, they're all doing the same thing. They're recycling content. Why? Because the algorithm, the algorithm has made us smaller. We're seeing the same thing. We're becoming more niche in a lot of how we interact with the world, how we see art, how we consume art, how we are creative. We want to use the same trending songs, the same trending filters over and over and over again. So the future is small. More content, but less diverse content. I really want us to think about that. There's more opportunity out there, I would say, more channels, but all those channels are saying the same thing. It's just less diversity of thought. And I think that's something we need to pay attention to. If you are a creator, how do you differentiate yourself? If you're a company, how do you differentiate yourself? And is that a good thing? Do you want to? Is that going to cause you some profits, or is it going to carve out a niche for you in this world of smallness that allows you to capture something that hasn't been captured? That's something that I think about. If you look at these content videos, and I'm doing a content video right now, they all look the same. Many of us are doing the same things, saying the same things. And it's like, well, I've heard that, been there, done that, because our world is smaller. We are becoming more polarized. So when you're polarized, there's really just two viewpoints. There are not the nuances that we need. You're either this or you're either that. There are not many things in between. Think about our sports. Our sports are getting smaller. There are more programs out here for young people to play basketball, to play football. They're becoming more professional as athletes in college. I just heard a sports talk commentator talking about these things. We're getting more and more kids going to AAU and moving away from their homes and going to these academies to increase their odds. But you know what? There are no more NBA jobs than there were a few years ago, unless they have an expansion team. So there's still the exact same number of spots, even though more people are vying for these spots and maybe are increasing their skill level. They're all going to the same programs. They're all using the same recipe to compete for the same small number of spots. The future is small. And I think that we think there are more opportunities than they are, but they aren't. We just do a better job of promoting less. We promote more, but we're offered less in many aspects of our lives. And I think if you're going to think about the future, what is the future? How do we overcome this smallness? How do we begin to enlarge the opportunities, not only from an advertising point of view, but from a realistic point of view? Look at the housing markets, because interest rates have gone up. Yes, there's more inventory out there, but there are fewer people that are able to take advantage of the inventory because of economic factors. And so what you have is a consolidation. More and more large corporations are coming together to buy up real estate, like investors. So there are fewer opportunities for individuals, for the regular person, and we're consolidating industry. We're consolidating the real estate industry. We're consolidating our food industry. Mom and pop farms, mom and pop stores can't survive under the current economic system. So we're shrinking. We're shrinking opportunity, and big corporations or conglomerations are grabbing up those individual opportunities, and we're consolidating our food production. We're consolidating where you can who can buy homes and who can rent out homes. And so that's going to make prices rise. It's going to push some lower income people out of the market. So it seems like there's tremendous growth in one segment, but it's really shrinking the diversity of our income distribution. So the future is small. And I think that's something we have to think about. We're doing all of this analysis and getting all of this data about what the future trends are. And there's really, I think, one overwhelming trend: smaller. Whether it's shrinkflation, whether it's polarized thinking, less diversity of skills, the outsourcing of opportunities and jobs, that contributes to our overall smallness. And I think we'll have a rise of dominant corporations, dominant cults of personalities. Those things will increase. There'll be more ways of getting information out, but the content will be less diverse. And so those are some trade-offs I think that we have to really consider as we go through life, go through this world. I think we're losing some originality. And I think even as we think about ChatGPT or other AI products, I love AI. I mean, I'll use AI in a minute, but is it hindering our ability to be creative and to have some creative diversity of thought, of artistic expression? You can spot some AI, and it's pretty easy to spot AI, right? It's really similar how it forms words and phrases and sentences. And I know, like, if you do social media posts, AI loves a rocket ship. I don't know why ChatGPT is fascinated by these little rocket ship emojis, but it is. And that hyphen, that dash, ChatGPT loves a good dash. And so those are some telltale signs that something is produced by AI. Its phrasing is very, very similar. So you can spot AI content and AI artwork. I use AI artwork. It looks very similar, right? So there will still be a need for creativity. Now, AI does help speed some things up. I think it helps facilitate a lot of routine processes, but hopefully it doesn't strip us of our creativity. I'm excited about some of the things that AI does with music and sound. I think there's still some originality there. I think there will also be some skill in how you develop prompts and tell AI what to do. But as you think about the future, I want you to think about the smallness. Do you want to stay on that small trend, or can you break out of it? How can you do that in your workplace? How can you do that in your company? How can you do that as an artist? How can you do that as an individual? How can you break out of the smallness trend and do something big, do something great? That's something that I'm wrestling with. How do I differentiate myself, be creative? Because there's some risk to stepping out of the algorithm box. There's some risk of when you say things that are different from what everyone else is saying. You know, we all at a point start to sound alike, look alike, dress alike, smell alike, everything. So how can we be different, and how can we be bigger? That's my question for you. If you are a leader, if you are a creative, how can you be bigger in this world of smallness? Well, my name is Glenn Guyton, keynote speaker. Make sure you like, share this video if this content has been beneficial to you. Thank you for joining me. And you know what? You all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day.